Love, peace, and salutations. My name is Michael J. Turner. I am the SouthWst Shaman, the Earl of Arizona. This is StereoPHiX 888. This channel is about personal development, how I'm changing my life from low vibe to high vibe. I can't save you, and I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to share with you how I'm saving myself. And this video right here is about relationships and also about love and my experience with basically how my life, how I came up with that, and how I'm at where I'm at now. And maybe you could get something from it, or just sit back and reflect, upon another person's experience with and how their life was affected by the world, because basically I'm gonna start off with as a child, right? I discovered pornography at an early age, and my father never really explained it too much. I found it on the bookshelf. It was magazines, whatever, and once middle school came around, it was like about 7th, 8th grade. I found a way to fit in, as in other kids were interested in it. So I was like, all right, cool. I could be cool by having it. Now I got something I could share, and then I'm already taking the risk of taking my father's magazines or whatever, or video or whatever, weird stuff like that, and letting someone borrow it. Weird, right? When you think about it. Okay, so let's move on forward. Now that what that did was, not only did it affect my social way of socializing, but also the main thing it affected was my perspective on women and sex, and what it was, and how it made it gave me my standards impossibly high. So I didn't experience a normal relationship, during school, all throughout high school, none of that. It was, it messed it up. And then essentially I started smoking weed as a freshman in high school, and that became my main thing, more so than women or girls, so I had a relationship in 8th grade, in 8th grade. I did have a very short-lived relationship that was awkward as hell, and when she tried to kiss me, and I think it was and I actually ended up taking off, run away or something. I didn't know what to do. So in high school, I had another relationship that was very short-lived, a few months over the summer or something, and but it was based on some weird, I had a car, and the car was gone and she was gone, and she kind of teased me, but never I don't know. It was, I was always trying to show out and be cool. I couldn't be myself, and just I had no game. I had no yeah, like I said, I never got, when we had sex ed. I recall my father being trying to talk to me about it, and of course I was shy, and I didn't know what to say, and so he said, if you didn't want to talk about it, then I want you to write a report about what you learned. And I was like, I didn't do it, of course I didn't do it, but he never sat me down and had that weird that talk. He never told me not to masturbate, and he never I just didn't get that from him, and it's okay. I love my father. He's gone now. He's been gone since I was 19. So that was a thing too. At a time when I kind of was becoming a man, and I was going through different things. I got shot in the mouth, and then he passed away a couple months later. And this was a crucial time but they're all crucial times. There's no time that isn't crucial, you know. But back to the, the whole relationship, sex thing, love thing, like it's so going forward after high school now. I was a virgin until I was 19. Or 20, maybe, something like that. Because what I remember is that I had moved out, at 18. And then we were all going, myself and a number of my friends were going to Las Vegas. And for some reason my mind said, I don't want to go to Vegas as a virgin. This is the thoughts of a 19, 20-year-old me, with all his friends, with like five or six of his homies. And it's like, why would that be a thing? Who knows how many of them were virgins still? And were they ever thinking that? Were they thinking that? I doubt I was the only one that was a virgin. So here's the thing, it's crazy, is my mind said that, so I decided I would go ahead and get a hooker. And as a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, and this is like 2005, 6, or whatever. Something like that, 7, whatever, 6. Oh, well, I got shot in 2006, so yeah, I didn't go out to Vegas with I don't know, whatever. Forget dating. Beside all that, what I'm saying is I didn't have that much money then, so it wasn't like I went and bought like a high price, high dollar escort. I went and got like a $60 to $100, motel hooker. And yeah. Oh no, actually she came to. No, I went to the motel. Okay, sure. So this also created a pattern of things as well. It opened the door for me to be somewhat comfortable with doing that. I was scared shitless, I was but I pushed myself to go through with it. Here it is. It created a whole list of things. Have you ever forced yourself to do something? Besides like going to work and stuff like that. Something where you don't have to do. Have you ever forced yourself to do something that you don't have to do? So, now we go to Vegas, and I'm not a virgin, whatever. Nothing happened there. But like I said, it opened the door for me to explore these type of things. And as I'm going into my 20s, and we go to the strip club, and at various times I'm emptying the bank and getting a fucking on the low behind it. Nobody else knew, and then getting a hooker, and nobody else knew. And then finally, when I had told a couple of my friends, they were like, "Dude, that's badass, man! Like, I wish I could do something like that, or wish I had the balls to do something like that." I mean, I don't know. To me, it was like something that I was ashamed of. I wasn't proud of it. I didn't feel like it took balls. Well, I guess it did take balls. It just, I would have rather just met somebody. So time went on. By the time I was about 22 years old. Okay, yeah, 22. I finally actually met someone. She worked at a bar. This is why I achieved getting a girlfriend outside. On my own. It was like, so I was like, hell yeah! I didn't have to do no porn or none of that stuff. It's gone. It was cool without it. But I so wanted a relationship. I wanted that so bad. I ended up letting things crumble. Like I started like not going to school. I was in college. I started not going to class. It started affecting me at work and I also went ahead and tried cocaine because of her. So I had afflictions towards a number of things, and I didn't know why. In my early years, certain drugs that I would end up doing, and she opened the door for me to do that. It didn't last super long, but let's just say she broke up with me. And you know, it kind of, I had other relationships that were not so healthy, you know, like moving forward. It took me a long time, right, to understand now what I know now, and to look back and see that those things that happened in those formative years, and then in my early years as a young man, set the stage for me to be codependent, and you know, it took me, once I was 22, I was past the whole like superficial high standard thing that the pornography had created within my mind. I was able to like see someone for who they are, you know, fall in love with someone for who they are, you know, not just their appearance or whatever. But it's not till now that I see now that it's not so much the opposites might attract, right? But like, as they say, quote unquote, but however, you may not realize it or not, but it's like I ended up attracting, you know, women that were the same as me. And that's how it's been. It's always been. But see, you might think that on the outside that they're not, until take a closer look, man, and see, like, if it ain't, and this, if that ain't the truth. And this is why what I want to get to now is that I'm talking about how blessed I am for the individuals that I'm with now, and I had baggage, and she had baggage, has baggage, and we have baggage, whatever. But here's the thing: is like the lens I'm looking through now, and the perspective I have now, is a shared thing. And the most beautiful thing is like all the stuff that I came to expect based on the baggage I had from the last relationship I was in, which was a 5-year long toxicity round and round thing. It's been beautiful because the things that I've came to expect didn't happen, and it's still going like that. Like, as in, she's just not taking me, like, or times when I've been taken to those, you know, feeling that I had previously, we can actually communicate about it, which is the biggest thing. So overall, in a relationship, and you know, I could talk more forever about some of the places I've been with my relationship things. You know, being in a relationship with a homeless girl, you know, literally it stayed on the streets, you know, while I had a home, you know, being, yeah. But here's the thing, man, is that I've always just been on the look out for a partner and for love and stuff. I've never been too much of like a sexual deviant, if you will. But I was, in a way, with the porn and the strip clubs and stuff and the hookers. But what I had realized was it was a trigger. That mind state was a trigger for me to make poor choices, self-destructive choices. Drugs, spending money, put myself in potentially dangerous situations. So I had to realize that, based on there was a lack of understanding, you know, that I never gained from my father. But I guess, you know, I don't know. He couldn't explain it to me. But see, it took me looking into it. It took my whole life as a process for me to discover that at the end of the day, the greatest energy that we have available to us is sexual energy. It's actually our life force energy here, you know, like, as in, if it's gone, if you deplete that, health is depleted, you know, health decreases and as well. And I'm just so blessed now to be self-aware enough to understand that it's all about transmutation of sexual energy, and that within a relationship there is so much power to be gained there based off of her increasing me and me increasing her, because we both have masculine and feminine energy fields going around our spine. Oh, did I mention my videos were about giving you gems and jewels as well? Yes. So here I am. You know, I was taken through the ringer. I think everybody has to be, right? But emotions, man. Energy and motion. And this is just something, me sharing just a part of my experience. You know, if anybody's made it this far in the video, you know, you are a real one. And put something in the comments about, you know, if there's anything I need to elaborate more about, or go into more about my experiences with this, or, you know, whether toxic relationships have been a thing that affected your life. Like and subscribe. You know, I'm coming with that raw, real, realness experience. You know, just what's, as the SouthWst Shaman, I'm a healer, and it starts with me. I'm healing myself, energetically, spiritually, emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Financially, all that. So, until we begin again, my friend.